All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Mark Anthony's Music Picks. Today we're on episode 76, and I'm going to revisit one of the classic themes that I've already done 2 episodes on. Today, because it's 4th of July weekend, we're heading into it, it's beautiful out. What better to do than to review some more house vocal classics? So today I have 5 picks for you that are perfect for summertime, windows down, backyard barbecues, daytime parties, and stuff that's just really fun to sing along to. The first track that I want to review for you is this one here with this beautiful cover art. This is Todd Terry's Get Down that came out in 2007 on, I guess this is Strictly Rhythm, right? With this crazy cover. Yeah, Strictly Rhythm. I love the Tease Freeze mix on this here. I found this while listening to a set of an old Philadelphia DJs, probably back in 2008. I discovered the set and kind of fell in love with it, and this was one of the tracks that was towards the beginning of it. I will admit that this track, although it has a beautiful vocal, it's a little bit subdued and almost kind of loose and like a little bit underpowered on its kick drum. So you would want to play this more as like a break in the middle of your set, or you would want to use it maybe towards the end of the set or right at the very beginning. But this, if you play this during peak hour, it's basically going to bring the energy down and kind of like take the energy out of the floor. So it's more like a chillin', almost like backyard barbecue record. It says Todd Terry All-Stars, but Todd Terry All-Stars is really just Todd Terry with a vocalist singing this really catchy get down vocal. And like it's really just like a really good party track. I don't have a lot of Todd Terry records, but I feel like this one really stands out in his catalog, and you can feel the old school like 90s-ness or even late 80s for Todd Terry kind of coming through in this vibe, and I feel like it's just something that I'm going to hold on to for a long time. My next pick for you is a 2002 house classic that I'm sure a lot of the older heads on this channel are familiar with. This is Automagic, I'll Be Here. You probably will recognize this vocal. If this isn't ringing a bell, you'll probably recognize the vocal when I play the sample. The vocal is a very well done male vocal. I've said before how difficult it is for male vocalists to really come off well on a house record. It just doesn't happen that often. It's a song about heartbreak and relationships and such, but it's just got kind of like a gentle, timeless vibe to it. I like the David Morales Dark and Lovely mix on here, but honestly, it's a toss-up between Morales mix and the original. You can hear a lot of traces in the original track, which are just as good and just as timeless as the David Morales, and it really has kind of carried through the last 2 decades really well. This is easy to get. Automagic is a duo out of New York, but from what I looked in their catalog, they basically produced from 2003 to 2004, and I think out of everything, this was their shining hit, and I'm really appreciative that they dropped this for us.
Look at me with that lost love in your eyes, and you talk to me with that voice you can't disguise. Walk away and you're gone all day, and you come home late with nothing to say. There's one thing I think you should know. I'll be here when you walk away. I'll be here when you're gone to stay. I'll be here if it's all the same. I'll be here. Forget my name. I'll be here. I'll be here. I'll be here. When you wonder if this thing we have.
My next pick for you is this one here. This is Mutiny K's New Horizons. Now, I don't know who Mutiny UK is. I looked through their catalog. I only have one of their records. I double checked it. They basically are a duo that produced house from the mid-90s, maybe to the early 2000s, I think. But New Horizons came to me in a very roundabout way. So about 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I started taking breakdance classes almost on a dare. Doombot dared me to basically go and try breakdancing because I talked about being interested in it. So I ended up taking this breakdance class, and because of that, I sort of went down the YouTube rabbit hole of watching breakdance videos and house dance videos, and I actually liked house dance a lot more than breakdance. When I tried to breakdance, it was really funny. It was basically me as a 30-year-old in this class with teenagers and a couple 9-year-olds and 10-year-olds, and of course the 10-year-olds just like really just like spun circles around me. I mean, they were so fast and agile, and like every time I would fall and like land on my hip or bang my elbow, I'd be just sitting there just like wincing in pain, and they would just bounce back up. And it was like, it just kind of hit me that I was like probably a little bit too old to be learning breakdancing at 30. But anyways, I ended up finding this Mutiny UK New Horizons track when I stumbled onto the YouTube video called House is a Feeling. And House is a Feeling is just a montage that has this track, the Class A vocal, sort of like melded into the background with all these people submitting little samples of them doing like pop and lock, different types of house dance moves in their living room, in their bedroom, out in the driveway, just like people house dancing anywhere that they wanted to, anywhere that they could, recording themselves, and somebody synchronized it all to a beat. So if you want to hang out to the end of this episode, I'll just give you like a minute or two clip of that so you can kind of get a feel for it. I feel like it's always better to see these tracks with a little bit more context than just hearing the sample. I feel like the context really brings them to life. My fourth pick for you today is by a Detroit duo, Octave 1. That is Lenny and Lawrence. I don't know their last names, but their main hit, I think the hit that they're known most for is Blackwater, which is what this is here. But this is a Blackwater reissue. The original Blackwater came out in 2000, and I'll be honest with you, I don't dislike the track, but I don't like it that much. And I'm referring to the original Untold version. It's got classic pianos and classic strings, which is something that's normally up my alley, but on this record, on the original record, it just sounds a little bit too dated for me. I know it came out in 2000, and I'm not talking any smack on it. I know that it was a classic, but this full tempo 128 or full strings 128 retempo, this is the one that I think like really dialed it in and kind of like modernized it and kind of breathed their new life into this older record. So I'm really fortunate to have this. I noticed that the prices are starting to go up on this a little bit. Maybe they'll do a reissue on it, but I think if you want this full strings 128 re-edit, you basically have to come here and get it, unless they do a repress, so you might have to pay for it. But man, what a great track, great vocal, great strings. It all just comes together beautifully. And my last pick for you is this here. This is on Flower. Flower Records out of Japan. Flower is a really interesting label. I've always liked their artwork and I've always liked their sound. For a long time, they would come out on Juno and be in stock for a few weeks, and once they sold out, that was a wrap. There was no restocking on these. This is Kentaro Takizawa, who basically did a retake of Sweet Love. And when I say Sweet Love, I mean Anita Baker's 1986 Sweet Love, which is a beautiful love song. Everybody loves that. It's great, it's classic, it's timeless. And here, basically, Kentaro had a girl come and do a cover of this song. When I played this out, I got a really good reaction from this. Like, a couple of people came up to me and they were like, hey, what was that Sweet Love version that you played? And it was this, you know, at the time, really obscure Japanese version. When I go and look at this on Discogs, it's still, every time I check my collection and I'm just like looking to see what things are selling for, this is never sold on Discogs ever, according to the database, which it blows my mind because it's so good. It's such a great remake. And I really think if you guys are into like taking an old 80s vocal and modernizing it and putting a house spin on it, I mean, this is a home run here. So check this out. That's all for today's episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed these 5 house vocal classic picks. Enjoy your holiday weekend. Be safe out there and take care. Peace.